All right, welcome back. So picture this, a jump in figure skating that's so ridiculously hard, so dangerous that for 100 years, nobody could land it. Well, today, we're talking about the young guy who finally did. This is the story of Ilia Malinin, aka the Quad God.
So, how does someone get a nickname like Quad God? Well, to get it, we have to start with the one huge achievement that completely changed the game. It's that question that really pushes every great athlete, right? What does it take to do the impossible? In figure skating, for decades, that question has been all about one specific jump. A jump that people thought was, well, literally the final frontier, something that just couldn't be done.
And here it is, the quadruple Axel. So what's the big deal? Why is it so impossible? Okay, so with almost every other jump, skaters take off backward. But with the Axel, they take off facing forward. That means to land a quad Axel, you have to spin, get this, 4.5 full times in the air. For generations, that was just, a myth, the stuff of legends. And then it happened. At the 2022 U.S. International Classic, a 17-year-old kid gets on the ice, launches himself into the air, and sticks the landing. Perfectly. His name? Ilia Malinin. And just like that, the impossible was a reality.
Okay, so who is this guy who just completely shattered expectations? Well, his story, and really the groundwork for that unbelievable jump, it all started way before he ever hit that championship ice. I mean, Ilia Malinin was practically born with skates on his feet. Seriously. His parents, Tatiana Malinina and Roman Skarnyakov, were both Olympians themselves. And get this, they've also been his coaches his entire life. We're talking about a real-deal skating dynasty here.
But here's the thing that's so important. This was not something his parents forced on him. You can hear it from him yourself. He just saw them skating, thought it looked awesome, and wanted to give it a shot. And that kind of personal drive, that's what you need to do something nobody else has ever done.
And he even has this cool little nod to his family heritage out on the ice. So his last name, Malinin, is related to the Russian word for raspberry, which is Malina. So what does he call his signature move? The raspberry twist, of course. Pretty neat detail, right? Look, landing one impossible jump is one thing, even a historic one, like the quad Axel. But that alone doesn't make you a world champion. Malinin's rise to the very top was all about pure, consistent, jaw-dropping dominance. And we're about to see just how dominant he was. And what's just wild is the speed of his rise. I mean, just look at this timeline. In the span of just 4 years, from 2023 to 2026, he racks up 2 world titles, 3 Grand Prix final golds, 4 U.S. titles, and an Olympic team gold. That is an absolutely insane run of dominance.
But you know what? Even with that insane trophy case, Malinin was about to do something else. Something that would lock in his legacy forever and earn him that nickname that just fits him perfectly.
Because that quad Axel, as amazing as it was, that was just the warm-up. He was literally about to rewrite the entire rule book on what was physically possible for a skater to do in one single program.
6. Just the number 6. What could that possibly mean in the world of figure skating? I mean, in a sport where just landing one kind of quad jump is a huge deal, what in the world could 6 stand for?
Well, here's your answer. At the 2024 World Championships, Ilia Malinin did something that no other skater in the history of the sport had ever pulled off. He landed all 6, yes, all 6, different types of quads in a single free skate. We're talking the Lutz, the flip, the loop, Sauchow, toe loop, and yes, that impossible quad Axel. It was basically perfection.
And the result of that perfect, historic skate? A score of 227.79. That's a new world record, by the way. And it won him his first world championship title.
And that performance, landing every single type of quad on the biggest stage in the sport, that's what officially crowned him the quad god. And honestly, is there any question that he earned it? Absolutely not.
So, after you've done the impossible, after you've reached the very top of your sport, what's next? You have to wonder, right? Not just for him, but for the entire sport of figure skating that he's completely reshaped.
Well, let me tell you, his story is far from finished. He's still out there competing, still pushing the envelope, and still winning. In fact, he just snagged his 4th straight U.S. title back in January 2026. The reign of the quad god is definitely not over.
And that leaves us with the big final question, doesn't it? When you're an athlete who has already done the impossible, what other limits are there to break? What's the next frontier? The only thing we know for sure is that every single time Ilia Malinin steps on the ice, we're probably about to see history.